is uncut. Can't get enough. The truth ain't holding back. This ain't no bluff. You are deserving that. Sometimes it's rough. No, I ain't holding back, cause this is uncut. This is uncut. This is uncut. No, I ain't holding back. Sometimes it's rough. This is uncut. This is uncut. The truth you deserving that. This ain't no bluff. This is uncut. Can't get enough. The truth ain't holding back. This ain't no bluff. You are deserving that. Sometimes it's rough. No, I ain't holding back, cause this is uncut. This is uncut. This is uncut. No, I ain't holding back. Sometimes it's rough. This is uncut. This is uncut. The truth you deserving that. This ain't no bluff. This is uncut. This is uncut. Can't get enough. The truth ain't holding back. This ain't no bluff. You are deserving that. Sometimes it's rough. No, I ain't holding back, cause this is uncut. This is uncut. This is uncut. No, I ain't holding back. Sometimes it's rough. This is uncut. This is uncut. The truth you deserving that. This ain't no bluff. This is uncut.
Happy Wednesday, Perks and Kinkles, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Uncut. And this evening we have with us the Honorable Temard Butterfield, who is the PM candidate for Grand Turk North. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Butterfield.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure. I look forward to the show tonight. Good night, Turks and Giggles.
So first, let's just... I am hearing some sort of feedback on my end. Let me see if I can fix that really quickly. Okay, that should solve it. So firstly, let's just jump straight into the issues that are at hand within our country. I think that's a very important place to start because everybody is concerned about their safety as well as their loved one's safety. Honorable Butterfield, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you clear.
Okay, awesome. And as we all know, Grand Turk has also seen a rise in crime, especially those targeting our young men. We've seen a number of homicides happen in the community of Grand Turk, which is something so far out of the norm. So what is your intentions to try to curb this phenomenon that's happening?
Thank you very much, Belandra. Indeed, again, it's a pleasure for me to be on your show. I consider the privilege to offer myself as a representative for Grand Turk North and to address the issues pertaining to Grand Turk on a whole. Even though I'm the representative for Grand Turk North, Grand Turk is a small island. We are a family island, and we is the nation's capital. And if we hurt, if one person hurt, the entire island hurts. So therefore, all the issues affect everyone. So indeed, it's important for me to address it. On the matter of crime, we know for a fact that we have seen the numbers increase over the past few years. And even though we have attributed to our young people, we are seeing the increase in violent crimes, and that's increasing also. It is important that these issues are addressed, and we want to know how to address them and how we plan to address them. important, the first thing that it should be noted that Grand Truck, we're used to opening up our doors, leaving our doors open, senior citizens sitting on their porch, relaxing themselves, leaving your windows open, enjoying the nature of Grand Truck and what we're about. And seeing that we have these number of cases increasing, violent crime increasing, indeed, the first thing that we need to look at is who's contributing to the increases. Number two, what will be our response in terms of curbing the crime rate? And to curb that crime, and I don't want to attribute it to only young people, but we are saying that because the stats didn't say it as yet. So until we have that information given to us as to the main cause, we can only assume. But our young people have been a target, our young men especially, and I believe that as a representative, it's important for me to not only speak to them, but also provide them with opportunities, see where they're at, make myself available to know where they're at and seeing what the issues that they are faced with, and direct them into the various resources that are available for them in order for them to be self-sustainable, in order for them to be better, in order for them to create job opportunities for themselves and be a part of the community and not feel as if you are neglected or we're not checking for you or we're not providing opportunities for you. The main goal for me is to see Grand Turk safe again. And if whatever we have to do to increase the safety of our island, the island of Grand Turk, it shall be done. We have seen increases over the past 4 years. Every year you have seen increases within the government's budget with respect to resources towards the police department, providing them with all the necessary resources that they need to combat crime and to assist them to do their jobs efficiently and effectively. And we want to ensure that the resources that we're putting into the police department, that they are used for that purpose, and so that we can see more crimes being solved, and giving the people that ease to know that if a perpetrator creates a crime that is against the law, that they are punished, number one, and also rehabilitated. We provide them with the resources to get over what they're going through and put them back into society so they can contribute to our society. We don't want to leave no one behind. So all that is needed for me, what I want to see, we need to interact with our young people more, our young men more, see where they're at, understand their conditions, and see how best that we can address it and provide them with the necessary opportunities and a fair chance to make it.
Yes, definitely. The reintegration of these persons into our communities is very important, especially because we've already punished them, but we need to also ensure that they're rehabilitated so that they can live harmoniously in the community.
Yes.
Of course, many of us know that you were a teacher by profession, and it is easily assumed that because of that, you hold kids as not, well, I shouldn't say kids, you hold young people dear to your heart. Is that a fair assumption?
I think that is a clear, good assumption. I love our young people. I think teaching, what I've gathered over the past 10 years, contributing to the education system in the Turks and Caicos, is that teaching is a ministry. And there's a saying that I've learned at college is that to teach is to touch lives forever. And every day you can see once you impart the knowledge and you become not just a role model, but you become a guide on the side to help our students not only to learn, but to how to navigate through life's challenges. You know for a fact that you're impacting their lives, and you see the results later on when they graduate, when they do well, when they become good citizens of the country. It makes you proud as an individual, as a teacher, that you have contributed to their development. So I love our young children. I love our young kids from primary school straight up to the college. Even the adult students, I love them.
Awesome. After leaving such noble professions, such as teaching, where you have direct impact on students' lives, how do you now think you're going to impact the lives of Turks and Caicos Islanders and young people, and to leave such a noble profession for what some people may deem less noble?
It is teaching. Teaching is a noble institution and one that I hold very high. And being a male teacher, especially, that is something that I'm proud of. We don't find too many local male teachers in the education system at the moment. But I must say my opportunities that were presented before me, in 2016, I joined the profession in 2011. And in 2016, I was offered an opportunity to serve in the capacity as the governor's appointed member, being the rep for the House of Assembly for the governor, one of his appointed members. And in that position, I represented the unbiased concerns of the people of the country and holding governments accountable, whether it's serving on committees or contributing to various legislations that were laid on the table. But having that opportunity to serve, we know for a fact that there are so many things that people expect of you as the governor's appointed member. But I believe that moving forward, even though I'm still teaching, I must say, I am still a teacher at the moment. I am teaching at the community college, research methods and TCI studies. Currently at the TCI-CC Community College. I've been up there for 4 years, and I haven't given up that task because I love teaching. I love imparting knowledge into the lives of our students, our kids, and the future generation. But to leave the profession, it was really a hard decision for me because at that time I was faced with a situation where I was leaving at the end of the first semester, which will be December, and I was preparing about 32 students for CXC, external examinations. So it was critical teaching information technology, teaching CVQs, and also principles of accounts. And to just jump up and leave my students in the middle of the term, it would have been a very difficult decision for me. But of course, I inquired, and I asked the governor, I said, sir, is it possible that I can still teach? Because I don't want to just leave. I don't want to leave them stranded and cause them to be delayed with their studies and also having to adjust to a new teaching skill, a teaching style, a new teacher, a new individual at the last minute that would have affected them. And he said that I can, but it will have to be on voluntary basis. So I remained there to volunteer for the remainder of the year to make sure that my students graduated and that they were successful in their external examinations. So teaching, even though I've been involved in politics, I've been involved in the House of Assembly from 2019. From 2016, I've still been teaching. I've still been present in the education sector. I've still been contributing to various sectors within education, whether it be youth department, because I serve on several committees. When it comes to the technical vocational institution, because I was one of the first teachers who were trained in that area to become a qualified external verifier, internal verifier, and a teacher for CVQs, which is the Caribbean Vocational Qualifications, which we are offering now. We have been working closely with the Education Department to develop the whole technical vocational scheme in Turks and Caicos so that we can offer our students another alternative, with respect to learning. We want to ensure that trade is present. We have been speaking about trade now for the past umpteen years. And now that we have finally reached that stage where we can see it be implemented and we can affect the changes that are needed when it comes to our young men, when it comes to our young ladies. We want them to be a part of this organization. We want them to be a part of this structure. And as the representative, and I've been saying this now, Wilandra, for the past couple of months and years, that if I can find 15 young men from out of my constituency alone to just buy into that program, take them through it, make sure that whatever trade that they want to learn that is available, and also see that they are certified in that area, I think it will empower them to establish their little businesses. They'll be self-sufficient. They'll be able to, do wonders. And this is what it's all about. It's all about uplifting our people, uplifting our young people, empowering our young men, empowering our young ladies so that they can be all that they can.
Definitely. Let's just backtrack a little bit because you were moving kind of fast. You mentioned the fact that you were, because House of Assembly is dissolved, you were the governor appointed member.
Yes.
And of course, that is a position where you make this unbiased decisions, and it's a question I'm sure that has been in many voters' mind. How did you sit through the entire 4 years making unbiased decision, yet 2 weeks after come out and announce your candidacy with the PDM party?
I think it's all a matter of assumptions. And if persons were listening to the House of Assembly and they have heard my contributions were always what the people want. What the people want me to represent on the issues that they want me to speak up on, I've done that. When it comes to holding the government accountable, and the government of the day is the party that I'll support and that I sit on. For sure, they can say through Appropriations Committee, which is one of my favorite committees to sit on, scrutinizing government's budget. You ask questions, you ask all the questions that is necessary to hold governments accountable. If it is that is a legislation that doesn't uplift our people, I won't support it. If it is a legislation that we know in times you will find political discussions happening in the House of Assembly, debates where they're swaying because of political affiliations, but I don't get myself involved in that. My job is to ensure that whatever legislations that are laid on the table, it is my responsibility that, number one, after out of all of the other goals and that it has, that number one is beneficial to everybody in the Turks and Caicos, that our people is benefiting and not just a semi-majority. By the end of the day, that our people's lives are uplifted. So me moving or transitioning now into this political party is a choice. You know, people say, well, you perhaps supported the People's Democratic movement from the House of Assembly time. Oh, no. If that was the case, I don't think the governor would have placed me in the House of Assembly, you know, because number one, perhaps he's seen something in me that know that I was able to give that unbiased and the different shades of opinion in the House of Assembly. And many times I've heard, and if the opposition want to be true to themselves, they would have, some of them usually say that, oh, you're the opposition spokesman on education, or you're the representative for Grand Turk, because these are issues that I've represented over and over. This is where I live. I live in Grand Turk. So of course I would know what the issues are hands-on, and first and foremost, what are affecting the people of Grand Turk. But Turks and Caicos on a whole, civil servants, adamant. Every time I speak about the civil service. Why? Because I was the vice president for the association, and they hold me accountable to do so. So when it comes to my contributions, and we usually do the political game or scheme when it comes to assigning and our opinions on something so it can be merged and mixed up. So you'll find them saying, oh, yes, you were ever a PDM. No, check the record. Let the record speak for itself. The whole idea, the whole thing is that I just serve the people, regardless of political affiliations or regardless of what you think or you assume. Because at the end of the day, when I go to the poll and vote, which is my right, when I go to that little small little booth, only person know who I vote for is me and the pen and God. You know, and that's the reality of it. But now I'm proud. I'm proud to support the People's Democratic Movement. I'm proud to be a part of this party. I'm proud to be a part and align with the agenda that is placed and the manifesto that we have going forward to uplift our people. Because anytime that we can make sure that the lives of our people are better, Valandra, I'm happy. You know, just to know that at the end of the day that someone is smiling or someone is in a better position from where they once were, that is enough to be happy about. So my job is to ensure that I see that come forth through the legislations, through my projects that I want to propose for Grand Turk North, because they deserve it.
Definitely. It is definitely your democratic right to affiliate with whoever you choose to affiliate with. So I don't think anyone can knock you on that part. After how did you make the decision to even leave your job? You had a secure job teaching, and then you just, well, I shouldn't say you just up and left it, because you said you still are teaching, but it's not a full-time teacher. How difficult was it to make that decision, especially with your passion being there for young people?
As I said, I'm still in teaching. That's the era. I am a trained, qualified teacher, and I'm still in that profession, that noble profession. And as I said, I've been doing it now from 2016. Even being a member of parliament, I was still teaching. But I feel as if there is so much more I can contribute. My community, the community of Grand Turk, invested so much in me as a young man. That is, now I feel like it's a time for me to give back to my community what they deserve. And Grand Turk deserves representation. Our young people, our young man they deserve representation. Our young ladies, our child, the vulnerable, special needs, they deserve representation. So the only way, and one of the ways in which you can affect change is at the highest office in the House, in the Turks case, which is one of the House of Assembly. So therefore, being a legislator, being able to contribute to bills and legislations, you definitely know that you can see your handprint on how you are helping this individual, how you're helping this group of people, how you're empowering lives and speaking, and not only speaking, but just listening to their issues and representing them. People need a voice. And I believe that Grand Turk North, which I represent for the past couple of years, and the record speaks for itself. Representation has been null and void. But at the same time, what we want to offer Grand Turk on a whole, make sure that the nation's capital, this is the seat of the government. We have to ensure that Grand Turk is taken care of. And as a citizen of Grand Turk, it is my job to ensure that my young people, our children have the resources that they need to grow up like I did when I was small, and the basic things in life just to be a good citizen of this country and a good citizen of Grand Turk. So even though I've left the institution of teaching, which I haven't, but I've been playing vital roles to other areas where you can still impact the lives of our young people. Junior Achievement, I'm a director on the Junior Achievement Board currently. I was assigned, and I'm sure you know this, I was assigned as the Youth Parliament representative for the House of Assembly, and we have about four sittings so far. And we have seen where our young people through training, being assigned as a mentor for them, sending them off to represent Turks and Caicos regionally. And I've seen them debate amongst top other young people throughout the region. And Cayman and Trinidad, I've seen it, I've sat with them, I've trained them, I've took them through the whole procedures to understand what is this to represent your peers. So I've been making that impact, even though I'm not directly into the government high school or primary school, but I've been still working with our young people, even in the church. The youth is important. They are important from 0 years old to 40, I would say, even though 40 is a little old, 35 is the age. But whatever I can do to impact their lives and make sure that they are better. And I keep on saying this because it is the fundamental principle of why I'm running. I believe that our youth deserves a voice, and I want to show them that I'm here. In the next 2-4 years, you can be here too. You know, we are changing the dynamics of this whole old politics, and we want to move from that. We want to move where we make our young people to understand that we are no longer the future. That was sad from when I was 1986. We in the future no more. We are now. We have educated young people who we have sent off to get their degrees in bachelor, and they are moving past bachelor's degree now. Everybody got their master's degree. So they are qualified, they're educated, and they have been exposed to regions in the world. So they can come back and serve and contribute in these capacities and make a difference. And that's why I am happy to be aligned with the People's Democratic Movement. We are a party of youth. And as you can see on our platform at the moment, we have about 4 young people who are serving in the upcoming elections. And if I can say their names, Honorable Maximano Thomas, who is no stranger. You have Audric Skippins, who is running for the Bite. We have Robert Bean Jr., who is an at-large candidate. And you have Temard Butterfield. These are 4 young men who are available and who are making themselves available to be that voice of our young people, ensure that their issues, that their concerns, not just on the community, but Turks and Caicos on a whole, that whenever we make a decision, that at the end of the day, their lives are better. They are empowered, they are uplifted, and they can say that this government has really propelled them to being who they want to be in terms of their career paths, their dreams and their aspirations. That's what I'm all about.
Awesome. And as we know, Turks and Caicos has been, even though we haven't seen the official figures for the brain drain that has been occurring, we know that there is some sort of brain drain present. What would you do to help to encourage those students who left to go off to school to come back?
Well, first of all, if you left on a government scholarship, you are bounded to come back and serve. And I think that should be clear. Going out of days where...
But Principal Butterfield, we both know that the enforcement of this is an issue. It's a
I,
huge issue.
I glad you said it and not me. But that's the reality. The reality is that if you were given a government scholarship to come back and serve this country or to get a degree and come back and serve, first of all, I believe that there should be opportunities. There should be opportunities for you. It shouldn't be a case where you are struggling to find employment. It shouldn't be a case where you are struggling to get an answer from the government with respect to whether or not I'm going to be employed or I'm going to be placed here. When I left school in 2011, I came back and I'll be honest with you, I only started working in October. And I only started working in October because I heard that I was going to this particular school. So I went, took my Josie Bungle and went over there. I was home from May, June, July, August. That was too long for me to be home and not making any money. You know,
Right.
so in your mind, you know that you have the 3 months period to be in terms of your bound expiration for your bond. But at the same time, I came back to serve. So put me on the job. So what I want to see, and we have seen it so far, that there is a memorandum of understanding between the education department and the labor department currently in place where there is a smooth transitioning and also the progress, keeping up with the progress of our students to see how far they are. So when they return, that there is employment for them. And even in the case where we keep on saying that, oh, there's a brain drain in our minds as young people, it's always there. It's always there that ain't nothing for us to do. I might as well just move, go to the UK.
I'm glad you say that. That's another thing. What about those students who just graduated or recently came out of school and they feel as if there's nothing to do? What would you do to encourage them, or what would you say to encourage them, especially the males?
The thing is that there are opportunities. There are opportunities. And I know it sounds like I'm just selling a dream, but let's look at the realities of it. If you look at the Turks and Caicos government right now, let's use one department for example, the Ministry of Finance, Treasury Department. There's a large department, but in that department you have young people under the age of 40, sorry, who are top managers and certified accountants in that department. You know, they are making their mark. You have young people who are making their marks throughout the civil servants, and you're seeing it every day where they're being promoted, they're being given jobs, and not bottom of the barrel jobs. Yes, we have still more work to do with respect to making sure that our people are in top level positions, but at the same time, we are seeing where there's a definite increase and deliberate increase of our civil servants being employed throughout government. But what we need to do, Wilandra, we need to provide opportunities for our people to not only to be working for the government, but we want to expand our private sector and make sure that our locals are involved in that expansion. And in order to expand that, we have to, of course, provide opportunities, whether it be through creating businesses for our people, giving them the capital. And you can hear, I'm sure you have heard over the past 2 months that we have been speaking about the $100 million pertaining to small businesses upgrade that the government is the People's Democratic Movement in our manifesto, what we want to share and allow and give our people within the 4-year period. And that alone will create job opportunities. That alone will empower our people to create their own businesses. You know, let's look at Grand Turk. Can I speak for Grand Turk for a minute? We have a big
Of
crew.
course, that was my next question. What is your vision for Grand Turk?
We have a big crew center up there, and I'm looking as if I'm looking at the crew center. We have a big crew center up there, and I don't think we have tapped into that industry as much as how we can. And we need to empower our people to think outside of the box and become business owners. You have the CED organization, you have the MSE program, and let's move away from starting businesses of the same that we have in Grand. Everybody have a clothing store, everybody's doing a rap. Let's think outside the box. You know, money is here to make. When you see me wake up, I'm a business owner, and I show you're a business owner. When I wake up in the morning, as tired as I am, the first thing I say my prayers and I make a statement. Money gotta make, chicken gotta fry. So I gotta get up and go fry my chicken. You understand? Because people want their wings and things. So you got to be consistent, you gotta be passionate about, and you gotta have an idea of what we don't have in Grand Turk and how best.
By the way, just so you know, Uncut sending they bill for wings and things advertisement just now. I'm just
Oh,
joking.
I can say it one more time since it's a bill comment. I have to I'll plug in the whole menu. But you know, there are opportunities. There are opportunities for us as a people to grow and to be empowered. Let's move away from depending on that government job. Let's move away and start becoming owners, creating our own pathway to success. But it is our job to provide those resources, provide the capital, the startup capital, the exemptions. These are things that are available. We can see these, sit down and give you a whole proposal. You come up with the idea, they will help you document that, put it on a paper so that you can come up and get the resources. So it's
I
available.
just let me chime in there for a minute. I don't think the problem is only the capital, you know. I think the another issue with the current program is that the fields are so limited. So even
Yeah.
if you have a business idea, most times it don't fit in their box.
But what I've seen recently, that there has been an expansion with respect to the categories, and they are working, and it's something that they're working on even now, currently, to continue to expand them because we, as I said, when I looked at it, it was just a small little box, and we know how that is. But at the same time, we want to encourage our people. We got to encourage our people. We have to make sure that our people are empowered. This 4 years, next 4 years of my life, I want to know that our people that they are uplifted and they are at a better position than they once were. And that we can feel the benefits that Turks and Caicos Islanders are the priority in this own country.
Definitely. And let us know why does Honorable Temard Butterfield, I've been using the word deserve for lack of better words, but a lot of politicians have been correcting me. So for lack of better words, I use the word deserve. Deserves to represent us, Turks and Caicos Islanders, in the House of Assembly.
I am a young voice.
Not just you, but also your team, because I know everyone is screaming vote down the line.
I think when it comes to the youth, and if you're speaking about the youth or you're speaking about the party overall, when it comes to the youth, I am a youth I'm the voice of the youth. I make myself available when it comes to service to our people, service to our young people. The record has shown that we care about our youth and their development. The resources that are in place, we care about the youth and the development. Their issues and their concerns, we care about the youth and their development. So if it is that you want to feel empowered, I think we feel more comfortable knowing that we have a young voice who can relate to the issues that we're going through, who understand the millennials who sit in our same conversations, who are on Snapchat, who's on Twitter, conversing and hearing, even though I'm not on Twitter. Um, I don't know how to operate a Twitter account, but it's relatable. We are relatable when it comes to the issues affecting the young people. And if, as I said before, if the opportunities could have been given to me, if the opportunities could have been given to other young people to serve in these capacities, these prestigious capacities, there's no reason why you can't. You are yourself as a representative. You love to tackle issues pertaining to the young people. So I would love to know that for the next 5 years or next 4 years or next 8 years that you are positioned or making yourself available to serve in these capacities also to represent the issues of our young people. So therefore, as I said before, the People's Democratic Party is all about youth. Our fundamental principle is youth. Youth in sports, youth in education, youth in employment. This is what we represent. This is what I represent. And for a fact, the young people don't have to worry whether or not their issues are going to be forefront and paramount. We will represent the issues of our young people. We will speak on job opportunities. We will speak on the pertinent issues that are plaguing them and how we can help them to propel themselves for their future generation.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Honorable Butterfield, for coming on to Uncut, and we wish you all the best in these upcoming elections.
Thank you so much. And I encourage everyone to go out there and exercise their voting rights on February 19th. We have a schedule out already. Make sure you understand what the schedule is. And also remember, for Grand Turk North, this is a crucial time. This is your time to join the movement. Don't stop the movement, and make sure you vote for Temard Butterfield as your next representative for Electoral District 1 Grand Turk. Valandra, thank you for having me, and I appreciate this opportunity to speak with you and to share with respect to the issues affecting our people and how I will represent them as a representative for the House of Assembly come the 20th of February.
It was a pleasure.
Thank,
Guys, please go out on February 19th and vote. It is very important for you to vote. This is a very important election. Exercise your right. You don't have to tell anybody who you're voting for, but it is important that you do vote. It is your democratic right, and it is a chance for you to have a say in your country. If you don't have a right, call your MP. If you can't call your MP, call your daddy, call your mommy, call your sister, call your brother, call whoever. Organize your ride before time. Make sure you have your mask. Make sure you have a hand sanitizer. Make sure you have your voter's card along with one other ID. Be prepared and do not wait for the day to come. Prepare in advance. And I encourage you to go out and vote. Thank you for watching another episode of Uncut, and I will see you guys on Saturday.
This is uncut. Can't get enough. The truth ain't holding back. This ain't no bluff. You are deserving that. Sometimes it's rough. No, I ain't holding back. Cause this is uncut. This is uncut. This is uncut. No, I ain't holding back. Sometimes it's rough. This is uncut. This is uncut. The truth you deserving that. This ain't no bluff. This is uncut.